What's up, guys? Welcome to another analysis video. Gold, is this still going to keep going down, or are we at a point where we'll have a reversal? Now, that is what we're going to be analyzing in this video. We're going to be looking at the monthly outlook also, because this is the end of the month, so we're heading into the month of July. So we might see some shakeups in the market before the market will decide to go in a particular direction. So we'll also be looking into that as well. If you are new to this channel, if you trade BTC and gold, this is the channel you should be subscribed to, right? Hit the subscription button. Let's get you started in the community. Guys, we do share a lot of private setups, trade in our private community. So if you want to be part of that, just check the link below this video and you will get signed up for free. Now, guys, let's take a look at gold right now and see what is happening. So this is let's head over first of all to the daily. There's something I want to show you guys on a daily time frame. So this is the daily time frame. Now there's something I really noticed here about gold, right? Is that gold is kind of failing to create a new all-time high. As you can see, after gold pumped to this level, created a new all-time high, it came down. We actually took a trade somewhere around this area. Then it was like it was going to create a new high, but nope, it did not create a new high. Came down again. In now we thought it was going to create a new high. All right, take out this one, but it did not. It's still rejected. So we are seeing huge rejections on the daily time frame. So what does this actually mean for gold? Now this simply means that gold is trying to seek lower liquidity levels. So and the liquidity we have right here is this FEG over here, then this particular low over here, then this one. So we have um one major liquidity level here, then we have another external liquidity here, then we also have another external liquidity here. Now we can only focus on what we already have at hand or what is right in front of us. So we are not really worried about whether gold is going to come down to this level or come down to this level. We're interested in what gold is going to do around this area, since this is the closest area to the nearest the current price, right? So what we want to do right now is to head over to the 4-hour time frame and take a look at things. So from the daily angle, we are kind of we are in a retracement. Um, God is retracing right on the daily time frame, because as I showed you guys, we are finding it very difficult to create new highs, all right, on the daily time frame. So now if we go down to the 4-hour time frame, let's first of all look, let's plot our Fibonacci from this origin, all right, or this demand zone all the way to this. Let's see this as a single structure. Now, using golden zone strategy that I always talk about, we see that gold is driving in towards that golden zone, which is going to be around this area before we can see some kind of move. Even if we're not going to create a new high, all right, which should be around this area, we might just see a move towards maybe this psychological level or this psychological level. So, what I believe gold is going to do in the beginning of July is that gold is going to retrace down to the next psychological level, which is around 3, which is around 3200, which is around this area. So remember, in our last video I told you guys something before we broke down. I said that we're going to see gold come down to this level, then it will reject from this trend line. We will see price going all the way to this level, tapping into this trend line or this psychological level, then we'll see gold coming down. Now this is where is going to decide if it's going to continue to go down or if it's going to reject. Now if gold is going to reject, what I feel is going to do is that it's going to either bounce from this trend line, but I don't believe it's going to bounce from that trend line. I believe gold is going to do some kind of have some kind of fake outs from that trend line. Then we'll see some kind of maybe a slight tap on this psychological level. Then we'll see gold, pump a little bit. Now, even if it doesn't create new high, like I said, we're going to see massive reaction of gold at this particular level. So this is the very first move I am looking out for in the month of July. Now that being said, like I told you guys, there was a rising wedge over here. You can check our previous video, which we got gold broke as retested, and that is the movement over here. So for me, for the first day, or for the very few first days of July, I'm going to see gold continue to go down into 2000 and 3200, which is the next psychological level, and this is where we're going to see some reaction. Now, if for some reason, all right, be it geopolitical stuff, we see gold breaking the psychological level, then rejecting. Then the next level is going to be 3,000 for gold. Sorry to say, but I think that's where gold is going to go if this level over here refuses to hold. Now, another thing I also want to point out before um, we close this analysis. Our analysis are always straight and simple. No need to cover complicate things. Now, one thing I also want to point is this particular trend line over here. Now, we've had one, two, three touches, making this trend line an A plus trend line. Now, an A plus trend line simply means that is a strong trend line that if we happen to see a break and close above that trend line, the price is likely to go in the opposite direction. So, this is a trend line that you should be monitoring. All right. It has not created clean lows yet, so I will not call it a channel yet. I want to see something like this. I want to see something like this, then maybe this, then this before I can now say, okay, this is now, before I can now call this a clear channel. All right, I need to see that bounce here giving me a leg over here before I can call it a channel. So but for right now, I won't say this is a channel. I'll just say this is a trend line. All right, this one, two, three touches over here is a trend line you want to be looking out for. All right, so even if you don't want to, if you're not trading price action or support and resistance or whatever, you want to be monitoring the movement of gold on this trend line. So once you see a breakout of this trend line, maybe a break and retest, all right, maybe at this level or at this level, then that should signal a buy if you trade purely trend lines. All right, so this trend line is another um yardstick that we use to monitor the retracements, all right, of gold. So in the meantime, gold should continue to go down to 3,200 while we monitor its reaction around that psychological level, which is the same 3,200. All right, guys. So that is it for gold this week. Now, so let's take a look at the monthly time frame because something I want to show you guys on the monthly. Let's take a look at gold on the monthly. Why I am kind of saying that we might see some retracement. So as you can see on the monthly over here, right? I wanted to share this just with my premium subscribers, but let me just show you guys. Now on the monthly right here, we can see that in the month of April, right, when gold approached the 3,300 level, all right, which is this middle psychological level, you can see that it closed below it. In the month of May, it also closed below it. Now we're about to close below it in the month of June. What does that tell you? It tells you that this area, that sellers have taken over this particular zone. So we're unlikely to see gold continue to create new highs. All right, we are more likely to see gold to reject. Now, if this candle happens to close as a bearish candle, then the probability of gold going all the way down to 3K, like I said, from the 4-hour time frame analysis, is very, very possible. Now, if that being the case, all right, if that being the case, then we will see that gold is going to continue to follow that bearish trend line, which I told you guys on the 4-hour time frame. All right. So that will mean that that 4-hour trend line, all right, this 4-hour trend line is going to be the trend line that is going to hold the overall bearish trend of gold till gold recover. So that is basically from a monthly perspective. So guys, you can use this and add to your analysis, and do have a lovely trading week ahead. Bye.